Hi, everyone. My name is Caesar Williams, and I am the producing artistic director of the Five This Time Festival. I welcome you to the Fireside Chat. This one is featuring season 17 playwright Jonathan Walters, whose play White Diamond will be featured in the festival this year at the world famous Apollo Theater. Jonathan, we are so honored to have you here today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Caesar. Thank you. I'm honored to be a part of this season, truly.
Like, there's never a theme with the Fire This Time, but a theme always emerges from the works. This season, it seems like the theme is it is okay to be comfortable within discomfort,
Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and so a lot of the plays kind of touch on this. Tell the folks about your play, White Diamond.
Yeah, for sure. So White Diamond is a two-hander. It's a play that surrounds grief. A mother and her son are preparing for the matriarch's homegoing celebration, or funeral, as you would say traditionally, in the circuit of Black families and grief. And when it comes time to losing someone who kind of they were kind of the glue of the family, and they set the precedent and the standard for how things should be moved. When that person leaves the family, you're left with the residue. And so this mother and this son is left with both the good and the not so good residue of kind of what the matriarch laid, and it goes into personal values, it goes into identity, keeping up with the Joneses, and just what it means to be successful and in the eyes of others. Yeah, and there's a generational conversation that's happening. What gets said, what doesn't get said, what gets protected, and what gets buried underneath and taken to the grave. And even when folks take it to the grave, things will reveal themselves. So that's what this White Diamond is about. And also, White Diamond is just a play on the words of White Diamond always makes me think of matriarchs, grandmothers, whether it's the perfume or just the actual White Diamond itself. So I had a good time in letting my imagination and you know friends, friends, stories of families, and some of my own stories just kind of blended. So I could tell this story.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what inspired you to write this play.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about all the friends that I have, we always talk about, where your grandma from, specifically where I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Shout out to me, even though I got on an LA hat, but I rep my city hard. But specifically in St. Louis, there was a big migration from either the South, whether it was Arkansas, where my family came from, or a migration from North, folks coming from Chicago. And so we kind of met right there in the middle of St. Louis, kind of around the 1950s to 70s, maybe even a little earlier. There was always this generational conversation. So all of my friends in high school, middle school, when we would really go hanging out, and somebody would mention, their family is doing this, or my auntie do this, or my grandma does that. And it's like, oh, your grandma hang out with these folks? Oh yeah, my grandma used to, my papa used to hang out with, someone back in the day. And so it was always this revealing of family generational, whether it be in the church, whether it was in school. Families are really big in St. Louis. And so it became a thing to ensure that whenever you went out, whenever you went to whatever parade there was, whether you went to church, whatever it was, you had to look good for the family, and whatever you did had to pay homage to the family lineage, or whatever that meant in the eyes of others. And so I just wanted to do something as we are in this world of times have changed and things being new. We're in the tech age now. Gen Z is, and they're their own thing. Millennials are their own thing. Like every generation is really moving at an accelerated pace and changing at an accelerated pace. That I really wanted to write this conversation about a mother who is so indoctrinated with these traditions and these values, and knows, she's aware that they don't always serve her, but she knows that it's how you get through. And then you have this, she has her son who she's raised beautifully and accepted him and loved him. And yet, in the eyes of others, those traditions, those parameters and limitations still kind of push through the mold of, oh, let's be progressive, let's be new, I'm the cool mom. My son is this, my son is that. I'm so proud. But then you get in the eyes of others, and little hesitation there.
Yeah.
And also this son understanding that as well, and choosing not to fault his mother for that. Like, I get you, I see you. Just letting you know it ain't right, but I see you. So
Yeah.
you can have a different conversation here, you know?
Yeah. I mean, what I loved about it, and this is one of my things I talk about a lot, I think we've lost the ability to disagree without being disagreeable.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have Hakeem who talks to his mom. You know, they don't see eye to eye on everything, but the love is always there.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the play ends with such a beautiful act of compassion on
Mm-hmm.
Hakeem's part, giving the mother a chance to kind of break the mold and embrace a new blessing and a new start to
Yeah.
life, you know,
Mm-hmm.
within her own family. So I just think it's beautifully done. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you. And just thinking about my own, my own mother, listen, I have a great relationship with my mom. Like, great, great, great. The woman is my best friend. She had me fairly young. And when I say young, I mean 21, both my mom and my dad. I was a love child. They were high school sweethearts that turned into, you know what, let's just be friends and co-parent this kid. So my mom and dad were never married, but very much present in my life. My father was very present in my life. And I kind of, infused that in Hakeem's storyline a little bit.
And that's a through line of the piece in how, as Black folks, we have very specific rules around these. My wife likes to call them these ritualistic events
Yeah,
that don't really leave space for the humanity of the individuals involved in these ceremonies.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, so I think it's just again beautifully done. How did you hear about the Finest Time Festival?
I think I attended one of the festivals. This is a patron a couple years ago. I myself am an actor, and I think I had a couple of actor friends that I knew that were involved. It was like in the Lower East Side, West Village.
Lower East
I
Side,
think
yeah.
about 2 years ago. And I went to go support it and was like, this is amazing. This is awesome. And at first, I was like, oh, how do I get involved in this as an actor? I just
Yeah.
graduated from school. And so I wanted to know, like, how I can get involved as an actor. I never knew the angle of the playwright would come.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that has just also been an avenue that has truly been kind of unfolding itself for me. I've always been a writer. I've always wrote since I was a kid, but I got an email saying that someone had recommended me to submit a piece. And I'm like, who recommended me? But
Did you ever find out who it was?
didn't. No, I didn't. So
Okay.
whoever that is, if you're watching, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Do you have anything that you want people to be thinking about when after they've seen your play?
Grace. Grace. I think we've all kind of been dealt hands that we are not 100% capable of being accountable for, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this, again, everybody is doing the best it can. And in terms of what great grandma left grandma, she was doing the best she could. What grandma left mama, daddy, doing the best they could. What mom and daddy left you, best they could. And what you are going to leave your children or nieces, nephews, whomever is behind you in your family and in your tribe, your community, you're doing the best you can right now, today, you and I, and I think when we uncover family and generational secrets, we think, oh, why would she keep that for me? Why would he do this? Why would he do? Understanding the severity of what that trauma or that information might be. I do think, like you said, agreeing to disagree, listening to something. I don't necessarily agree with the way y'all did things back in the 60s. I don't necessarily agree with the way y'all did things in the 90s. It's like y'all don't necessarily agree with the way we do things today. I do think there's an element of grace that I want to reintroduce to our community, because I think those are some of the next steps of just continuing to heal. And we're not going to be whole. Nobody's going to be whole, but at least you have a deeper understanding of information.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I think that's the ingredient. Like we talk about being comfortable in the discomfort. The key to making that work and for growing through that is grace.
Yeah.
Where are you living now? Are you still in St. Louis? Or are you in New York or LA? Where
No,
are
no,
you?
I'm in New York. Yeah, currently, yeah, I live in New York. Shout out to Queens. Um, yeah,
Yeah. Did you always know that you were going to be a creative? Did you always
I think my
love
mom did.
art? Yeah.
I think my mom did. My dad definitely did because I failed miserably in sports. I listen. I'm the oldest of a lovely line of brothers and sisters, and let me tell you, I was the one that I think my dad wanted me to. He wanted me to go and be he wanted to be the football dad. He wanted to be the sports dad. He wanted to do those things. And when he saw that I would take the ball to the wrong hoop in basketball, uh, I would I'd sit out in the outfield and pick flowers, pick the little dandelions, the ball would
Yeah.
roll past me in baseball, T-ball, and you folks yelling the ball, and I'm sitting out here picking flowers, going, look, flowers, nature.
He's
And
like,
yeah, I didn't
this
even make
boy is
it
an
through.
artist.
Yeah, I didn't even make it through football camp. They just said, "Yeah, nah, he ain't. He's not him." So instead, my dad took that energy and turned it into being like kind of like a, theater. He was third, front row, and the same way that a father would his son football, like give him notes after the coach is giving him notes.
Yes.
After I got notes from the director, you better believe after the show, my dad was giving me a whole dissertation on how I need to do this and think about that, and I just be sitting there like, what? No,
That
that was the way I was supported.
that's
I appreciate it
wonderful.
because not everybody gets that money.
Yeah. So if you had a time machine and you could go back to little Jonathan sitting in the outfield, blowing the
Mm.
dandelions, what would you tell him?
Who you are right now, um, the things that make you happy and bring you joy, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Who's going to care for the little boy? That line from Antoine Fisher, that scene, I was watching it the other night. And we
Mm.
have to care for the little boy.
I'm on all the social media platforms. At Donathan Walters. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Facebook if that's what you still use. My email. First and last name Donathan Walters at gmail.com. I can always be reached. I'm always on my email, and I'm always willing and wanting to get involved.
Is there anything you're currently writing now or any projects or productions that you're preparing?
Yeah, so right now I'm continuing to work on a longer two-hander piece that I've been writing for about a year and a half that I started to develop with the Gatekeepers Collective 2 years ago. It was called Hope in Pieces, and it's about two individuals finding love via this good old cell phone. Um, and how technology and love, and also again just what it means to be a little unique and different in today's digital world, and how you have the things you have to do to find intimacy and connection and things like that.
Well, thank you, Jonathan, for joining me on the Fireside Chat. I want to thank everyone who took time out of their busy schedule to watch. Please come out, support the Fire This Time Festival. We'll be going January 23rd through January 31st at the world famous Apollo. You'll see Jonathan Walters play White Diamond as well as 5 other short plays. It's going to be a wonderful time. It's going to be a party. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.